helpful neighbor can be a godsend.
I'm going to make you dean.
No need, Virginia.
They're very friendly people, and they trust each other.
Those years were very happy years.
I didn't know you got married.
He would deadbolt her in.
She was terrified.
But what happens when the terror behind closed doors
I've got another gun in here.
spills onto the street?
Nothing is going to happen to your daughter.
No. It turned for the worse.
Get out of my way!
Don't you dare touch me!
And escalated.
I'm asking you this so you can explain yourself.
Get on the ground now!
I know what you did.
Get out of my neighborhood! Get away from my wife! On the ground now!
Just north of Houston, Spring, Texas offers its residents a peaceful oasis outside the big city.
It was just such a nice place to live. It seemed so quiet and safe.
Everybody kind of took care of their long houses, you know. They were very friendly people.
Everybody walks their dogs, and, you know, neighbors are good, are very nice, friendly.
Few people are more loved on Morning Dove Drive than Anna Weed.
She was all about enjoying life. You know, you make your money, spend your money, enjoy your life, you know.
Anna's husband, Scott, met and fell in love with Anna when her two sons were young.
Hey, hon.
I'd probably put them at about 8 and 10 when they got together.
Lanterns for the front door.
Scott was a really good stepdad. He really supported anything they did. They were in a really good marriage.
Since they've become empty nesters, Anna's mom, Virginia, has come to live with them.
Oh my, you are the best.
Anna's friends used to say, how could you live with your mom and still be happy about it? And she's like, oh, my mother is my best friend.
Scott, chew.
And I used to say, Mama, you spoil my husband. But that's the way I am. Those years were very happy years for me with my daughter.
Spicy.
Anna and Virginia are living the American dream. They are Mexican immigrants who came to Texas and thrived.
Family, you know, he loved my mom. You know, my mom cooked like incredible food, authentic Mexican food, you know? So they got along very well. Anna was managing a very upscale elderly living place. She always had all these employees that worked for her. She was always, you know, a big boss, you know?
Scott is also a successful executive for a major information technology company.
They really enjoyed life. They enjoyed their time together, and they enjoyed life.
It's only a couple of people that live in the neighborhood that are Hispanics. The rest of them, they were Anglos, you know, but, you know, very nice.
For the Weeds, having a neighbor like Hector Campos is reassuring.
Hola, Hector. ¿Cómo está?
Estoy bien. ¿Tú?
For you.
Oh, you remember.
We exchanged some aloe vera because I used to have aloe vera and say, yeah, do you want to plant it? I can get you one.
Thank you. And if you ever need anything, just let me know. Thanks.
Hector has lived quietly next door for almost a decade. Of Mexican heritage, he was born in the U.S., served in the military, and is now an airline mechanic.
He just seemed kind of quiet. He was a quiet guy.
A few blocks away that she rents out.
We went to my house. I had the house rented. I was wondering if he can go ahead and measure it for me.
Hector is happy to lend a hand when his neighbor needs it.
Sure, let's start with the blinds.
Thank you.
6 feet by...
He seemed like a little nerdy type, doesn't really get out much. So they became friendly, and they trusted each other.
Thank you, Hector. I'm going to make you dean.
Oh, no need, Virginia. Whatever you need, anytime.
But soon, the friendly rapport will turn hostile.
Where is she hiding?
Anna and Scott are about to embark on a vacation, leaving Virginia on her own.
You know, I worry about you here being all alone.
And I said, Mom, you know what? why don't you go to the next door neighbor and ask him for his phone number?
He can keep an eye on things.
Okay, I'll ask for his number. Go.
And Hector was that type of neighbor that was always vigilant, wanted to know what was going on.
Hector, my daughter is on vacation. Can I get your phone number just in case?
Sure.
So I went over there, and that's when I met Letty. She was behind him, but she was kind of like scared. I could tell, you know, her face was like in fear.
Oh, who's this? Hi, I'm Virginia, next door.
This is my wife, Letty.
Oh, congratulations. I didn't know you got married.
We've been married 8 years. Hold on a second, I'll go write down my phone number for you.
My mom thought it was really odd that Hector and Letty were married, and that Letty had been living there for years, and they never knew about her.
When Anna and Scott return from their trip, Virginia breaks the news.
Hector said his wife's name is Letty. She's Mexicana.
And I said to Anna, this man has women there, you know, and he introduced her as his wife.
Oh, this is beyond weird. I mean, it's creepy.
Yeah, how is this even possible?
I know.
Strangely, after Virginia meets Letty, Hector is not seen by his neighbors for months. Then one day, Anna has a chance encounter with a member of Letty's family.
Mom, look! Can I play with your dog?
Of course. Just be careful.
Anna says, be careful because Maggie, dog, she likes to bark. She was like protecting her mom, you know, always, you know, Anna. And then the mom came behind her and started talking.
Hi, I'm Dulce. She's mine. She's so cute. I'm Anna. Nice meeting you. I'm Letty's sister.
But they were not coming here for vacation.
Our car broke down on the way to Disney World.
I don't think they wanted to stay too long.
Oh, you know, why don't you two come for dinner? We have a pool.
She's like, do you like to go swimming? The little girl's like, yeah.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
That evening, the two families socialize for the first time. The invitation is also extended to Anna's brother, Arnold.
Letty, for you.
Gracias.
She was very pretty. You know, I thought, wow, she's beautiful, you know, and he's a little short, geeky little guy. And I thought, that's kind of crazy, you know, that she's, you know, there's real pretty girls. Like, how did they meet?
We met online.
Oh.
They met like in a chat room or something like that. So I was like, oh, so she came over to the United States and she lived there for many, many years.
So, Letty, I hope we get to see you again. Ven a nadar.
Anna was speaking to her in Spanish, but she was a little bit protective of herself, almost as if she didn't want to give away too much of anything.
Hey, Hector, come over here and show me how you two like your steak.
So, how can we never see you? He locks me inside.
She told us that she was locked inside the house.
She said that when Hector would go to work, that he would deadbolt her in.
Don't rape me.
He would tell her, hey, look, you don't want to go outside because there are murderers and rapists and this and that. And then he would lock the doors from the outside.
And he won't let her out because they were going to rape her.
So, what did I miss?
This seemingly perfect neighborhood
Letty was terrified.
is masking a horrible truth.
What should I do?
Hector didn't even leave the garage door open because he said that bad people was gonna go inside and rape Letty.
That night, mother and daughter debate their course of action.
Mama, she's trapped. We should do something.
I know. I'm worried.
Should we call the police?
He's not breaking the law.
It seemed like mentally he was just controlling her.
Well, if not the police, then what?
Virginia knows what it's like to live in fear.
I came here to Houston, Texas in 1980. Was running away from, a abusive husband.
¿Qué te pasa? ¿Por qué me haces eso? Nunca me escuchas.
My dad was very abusive with all of us.
I wanted to save my kids.
My mom told me one time that my dad pulled out a gun, aimed it towards my mom, and Anna got between them and pretty much told my dad to shoot her instead.
No, no!
I mean, she's always defending even her mother at a very young age. That's who she was.
And I think all of that was always on Anna's mind, the fact that we grew up with this controlling, abusive father. And I think that she was concerned for Letty because we lived that life.
I'm going to invite Hector and Letty to our Bible study group, so she trusts us.
Surprisingly, Letty is allowed to attend.
We are all sinners, but God.
And I was the host for Vicky and about 14 other people that attended mine and my wife's Bible study in our home.
You shall not take revenge or bear any grudge against the sons of your people.
Being Christian with people, living a different life full of hope and faith.
You shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord.
When he was in the room, she was muffled, quiet. I think she was terrified of him.
Letty started opening up more about what was going on to my mom. And that's how they really got to know Letty.
As she tells it, it's worse than she first revealed.
He forces himself on me.
My mother was so bothered by the fact that this guy was, and in Letty's words, was forcing himself on her.
She was really living a really tough life.
And Letty shares another revelation.
I am pregnant.
I think Hector, he didn't want the baby when she was pregnant. He didn't show any emotions.
Virginia and her family now view their once helpful neighbor as a dangerous predator.
They're like, no, that's not normal.
And Hector is suspicious of the weed's overinterest in his wife. Costs. But as Letty's pregnancy progresses, Hector's alarming behavior intensifies.
Hector, why do you need these guns?
It's simple. What if someone tries to break in through that window? I've got another gun in here, just in case.
He had a lot of guns. He had many guns. He had them in many locations in the house. You know, just in case somebody broke in, he'd go to this gun, or he'd go to this gun. That kind of put Letty on guard, you know, like, oh gosh.
Let's go upstairs.
No.
I'm not no psychologist, but I felt that he was just getting too possessive, and he was losing that possession.
Feeling vulnerable, Letty invites her mother, Guadalupe, to visit from Mexico, preventing Hector from locking her indoors.
Bueno.
But before Guadalupe can arrive, Letty needs her neighbor's help.
Lady was so scared. And she says, Nya Vicky, can you come over? Hector was not there. And she says, I want you to see this. I don't know.
I bought this crib.
And then she says, at 3 o'clock in the morning, I was just like trying to go to sleep. And I can see him with this pointy thing, and I thought he was gonna kill me.
Hector?
But he threw it underneath the baby's crib.
Go to sleep. You found it.
What is this for?
It's for protection when the baby comes.
I think Hector was getting into Letty's head.
Letty, what's going on? Take a photo.
So he says, yeah, I want you to take a picture because I don't know what's gonna happen.
I don't know what to do. What should I do?
She told me that she was afraid that he was gonna do something, harm her with that.
To Letty's relief, her mother finally shows up.
Mama?
Oh. When her mom was in Mexico, she used to call her mom every day.
During her daily phone calls, Letty has told Guadalupe everything about Hector's behavior.
This marriage is not right. I'm afraid.
And then they started opening up about all the weirdness, you know, of Hector.
Guadalupe always said, you know, I think he's gonna kill my daughter.
Please, you have to help me take care of my daughter.
And I said, as long as I live here,
Nothing is going to happen to your daughter. I promise.
But promises can be hard to keep.
Get out of my way!
Don't you dare touch me!
Get out! Both of you!
Anna wasn't afraid. Anna wasn't afraid of nobody. She didn't fear anything. She didn't fear her neighbor, you know, but sometimes you just gotta sit and think, you know, hey, you know what? People are capable of a lot of different things, you know?
Letty gives birth to a healthy baby girl. The arrival of his child makes Hector even more paranoid.
Letty used to say that he was always looking through the mini blinds.
Kind of a weird stare, you know? And you're like, you know, what's up with this guy?
With a new baby on the scene, Anna barely sees her neighbors anymore.
He was staring at me again. What if Letty's in trouble?
She told me, do not call the police.
Letty wasn't 100% desired to call the police. You cannot call the police just because you suspect about somebody that is gonna do something bad. We gotta get her out of that house.
Anna and Virginia decide to throw a party for the newborn, which Hector surprisingly allows.
It's a onesie?
See, a onesie.
My sister hosted a baby shower with the Bible study group, and Hector was there and Letty was there.
Guadalupe has traveled once more from Mexico to see her new granddaughter.
Gracias por venir. Thank you for the
mother.
Letty, it's time.
Guadalupe told Letty that she needed to get away from him. There was too many strange things that she saw during her visit. And that's when they started trying to figure out a way for Letty to get away from Hector.
Hector.
Oh, that's really it.
Hector, Mama wants to ask.
Hector, my family wants to see the baby. Back home.
Just a short trip, mi amor.
What a great idea.
He was very peculiar, odd. You know, I hate to say the word weird, but he gave that aura of like strange, you know.
We'll see.
Hector soon relents, allowing Letty and the baby to visit her family in Mexico.
So he had signed a form for her to take her child with her. So she had all of the documentation that she needed in order to leave the country.
Hector's neighbors are relieved. They know that if Letty can get to Mexico, she's not coming back.
Come back to the United States. She wanted to stay in Mexico.
But the night before his wife's trip, Hector makes one condition.
I need you to sign this. It's for the bank.
I don't know what it was, but something very important.
It was a document that he wanted her to sign so that he can refinance the house.
It's legal talk. Just sign it.
He could not stop asking Letty to sign some types of paper, you know, for like a loan.
Whatever the papers may be, Letty doesn't trust Hector's intentions.
Sign it.
They were in English. She didn't understand, and she wouldn't sign it.
Hector, I cannot sign something I don't know what it is.
You don't trust me? Letty, sign it.
It was in English, and she didn't quite understand what it was, but she said, no, I'll sign it when I get back.
No.
No, you're not leaving until you sign this.
I will sign later.
He said that it was something to do with refinancing the home, but I think Letty felt it was something else.
What? Letty? Open the door! Letty! You're not going to Mexico. Open the door!
Virginia receives a distressing call from Letty's mother.
Bueno.
Guadalupe was desperate. He says, oh, I know he's gonna kill my daughter. I know he's been knocking on the door.
Open the door!
He wants for her to sign this kind of paper.
Let me call Anna.
After speaking to Virginia, Anna jumps into action.
Hi, Hector. I'm just heading to the airport myself. I can fit everybody in my car.
She says, hey, Hector, I'm going to the airport. Do you want me to take your mother-in-law and your wife and the baby? I'll take them.
Oh, sí, gracias, Ana.
No, that's not necessary. Have a good day.
Oh, no, Anna. That's okay. I'll take him later.
No. We go with you.
Hey.
Letty Ben.
Wait.
Lupe was the one that was like making her way to Anna's car.
Hey, wait. I said I'd take you later.
So now they're sort of like in a safe haven because now we're outside.
No. We're not going to
go. This is our opportunity. Let's go.
Lupe, please.
No.
Please. No. No, I'm taking you later.
With other neighbors looking on, Hector tries to maintain his cool.
Lupe, step out of the car. I'm driving you later. Letty, stop. You're not leaving until you sign this paper.
No!
He kept pressing her about signing those papers.
You have to sign. You have to.
Hector, why? What's so important about this piece of paper?
And then Anna's like, Hector, what is it that you want her to sign? What is this?
It's none of your business.
She's not going to sign that paper. You can't force her.
I think he lost some of the power there. I think Anna took the power from him. I think that really pissed him off.
Get out of my way.
Don't you dare touch me.
And then Scott comes out.
Hey, buddy, cool it.
Hector's only 5'5", 5'6". Scott's 5'11", 6 foot. Probably outweighs him by like 75 pounds or more.
If she doesn't want to sign it, she doesn't have to sign it.
So, a double whammy. He's got to deal with Anna, and now he's got to deal with a bigger presence.
It's not your business. This is my family,
Get off,
not yours.
Right now. She doesn't want to sign it, she doesn't have to.
It's my wife, it's my baby, and you can say, stop! You can't do that!
And it was like, there's no turning back.
Come back! Where is she hiding? Letty!
Anna and Scott took the power from Hector. They weren't doing it to make him feel less of a man. They were just doing it because, like, hey, look, you want her to sign some documents? What are these documents, you know?
After Anna drives off with Letty, Hector tries to prevent his wife from leaving the U.S.
I think that really pissed him off because he went back inside his house, canceled the tickets, And Anna took him to the airport, and they found out he canceled the tickets.
But Anna won't be thwarted.
Anna was smarter than him and was able to buy Lydia a ticket and help her to get out of the country.
When his neighbor returns from the airport, Hector is waiting.
Are you happy? You stole my family! They weren't gonna leave until you knocked on my door!
You know a stupid piece of paper? I'm glad you didn't sign it.
When Letty didn't want to sign those documents, that's when he blamed
with Hector, which we didn't expect.
Soon, it becomes clear to Hector that his wife isn't coming home.
That's where I feel it turned, for the worse, and it escalated.
He blamed Anna. I think he got really, really bad upset with her.
The relationship went down after that, for sure.
Hector demands an answer to his burning question.
Anna, where is she?
I don't know what you're talking
Where's
about.
Letty? Where's my daughter?
I told you, I have no idea.
Yes, you do. I know you do.
Just go home.
Anna would just go away, leave me alone, brush him off, just leave me alone, don't waste my time. I think he hated that. And Anna did that, I think, just trying to avoid any confrontation,
He was stalking her.
Did he bug you again? Anna, did Hector say something?
Scott got mad, and Scott went over there and confronted him. Was like, look, you got something to say it to me.
Hector! Listen, buddy, stop harassing my wife.
I'm not. I'm asking her questions like, where's my wife?
You're picking on her.
If I catch you making threats or looking at her bad or something, then, we're going to have a problem.
You threatening me?
Yeah, I am.
Get off my property now.
I know what you're doing to her. Rapist.
Hector has lost his family, and he'll do anything to find out where they're hiding. Anna and Scott know Letty and her newborn's location, but they're not telling.
So the lady called me, and she didn't have a place to go. He's accusing me of kidnapping the baby.
Virginia moves back to her own house in the neighborhood and secretly takes in Letty, who is back in the country trying to gain full custody of her child.
So she stayed in my house, 4 blocks away from him.
Take the case.
Okay, thank you. Guess what? She'll do it. Oh, yeah.
Just when things seem to be looking up for Letty, she receives a distressing call.
Ponle preciosidad. Es una preciosidad.
Bueno. ¿Qué hizo Héctor?
Hector has shown up in her hometown of Torreon, Mexico.
He is in Mexico.
He went over there and looked for her and threatened everybody, her sisters, and, but of course, they said, well, she's not here.
Should we leave?
That's why he came back to Houston.
No. No more running.
We were in fear of my mother being confronted by Hector because he knows where she lives.
Carmen, my daughter, says, Mama, they need to go because, something is going to happen.
So yes, I was in fear for my mother's life.
Now back stateside, Hector finds out that Letty has retained an attorney.
Is she? Answer my question!
He went over there and threatened the lawyer.
Where is my daughter?
Next, Hector arrives uninvited at the house of the Bible study leaders, David and Martha Paez.
Yeah, he had a weird way of looking at people, especially if you didn't trust her or didn't know you.
Virginia happens to be there visiting.
And I saw him standing like a statue, like. And I said, should I call the police or... But I didn't know what to say because it was not my house.
What's up, Hector?
Your husband is sleeping with my wife.
And he said, oh, did you know that your husband and my wife are having an affair? And I was in shock.
What are you talking about?
He texts her every night. He's sending her messages.
The way that Hector looked, Nick.
Hector, calm down.
I'm not calm because you're sleeping with my wife. You texted her at 10 p.m.
I text everybody at 10 p.m.
And I show him physically with my phone.
Look, I sent her a verse from Matthew 22:39.
Here, the text right here. It's a Bible study verse. It's not no derogatory thing. Trying to have a relationship. So that really irked me. But like I said, I kept control because I'm a Christian man.
I am not sleeping with your wife. That's an insult to my marriage.
Don't lie to me. No. I won't stand it.
He didn't want to understand. He was out of control.
Debbie, inside. You, leave now.
I really was afraid that he was going to go back to his house and grab a gun and do something against my husband.
That man is crazy.
I think he was just jealous because Letty was getting attention and have other friends instead of just being dependent on him.
Not realizing that Letty is now living with Virginia, Hector now focuses his wrath on Anna.
He blamed Anna. He wanted for her to go to jail because she kidnapped the baby.
Just when her life couldn't be any more challenging, Anna undergoes
because she was recovering from neck surgery.
And she just had level 3 fusion bracket thing put on the back of her neck, and she had this 3 or 4 inch cut here, so she could barely move.
She has never been more vulnerable. And the tension between these neighbors has never been higher. It's early in the day when Anna realizes she's short of wrapping tape.
And she was wrapping some late Christmas presents.
Hector complained about her dog all the time. He didn't like Maggie at all.
When Hector sees his neighbor, he moves to confront her.
For the last time, where is Letty?
Anna turned towards him from the back of her car, the trunk.
Oh, for God's sake, stop it.
And she's like, I don't know where your wife is, where your child is. You know, just leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
I'll leave you alone when you tell me where my wife is.
No!
That had happened a few times before that, and it didn't go any further, but that day it did.
Hector.
She was like protecting her mom, you know.
And the dog went after him, apparently, to attack him. He went to kick the dog, but apparently he missed the dog, fell on his back.
Don't you dare touch my dog again, ever!
When he got up, I think he was embarrassed probably, and that's probably what angered him more.
And Hector aims that anger directly at Anna.
Hector started just boiling over, and I think it just escalated to the point where he snapped and he just completely lost control.
He was pointing the gun towards the dog, and Anna grabbed her dog. And then he shot her.
Neighbor Travis Hoppus witnesses the shooting and rushes over to help.
It's okay. Get a towel. She's bleeding out.
And then Travis said, go get a towel. They put the towel underneath Anna, and then Travis held his hand or his finger over the wound.
While trying to save Anna's life, Travis draws his own weapon.
Get on the ground now!
But at the same time, Travis held Hector at bay with the gun drawn on him. And then Scott's rendering aid.
Virginia arrives to find her daughter bleeding out.
I went and grabbed her face. And I was, trying to revive her. I said, don't go, Anna, don't go, don't go. Don't leave me. I just put my arms up in the sky and say, Lord, don't take my daughter. But I can see her eyes, and she went like this. Twice. My daughter died at that time. They took him to the hospital and everything, but I think she was dead.
While being held at gunpoint, Hector calls 911.
Need an ambulance and police out here ASAP.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
There's been a shooting.
Okay.
My neighbor attacked me now.
Okay. Were you in the shot?
No, I'm the person that fired in self-defense.
And where did you shoot her at?
In the chest.
Hector Campos is taken into custody. Incredibly, Hector is freed less than 24 hours after posting $50,000 bail. Letty and her child are granted a protective order against him.
On behalf of my mother, my brother-in-law, and my suit against Hector.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Why did you shoot and kill Anna Weed?
To everyone's surprise, Hector appears on Dr. Phil 1 week after Anna's death, pleading his actions as self-defense.
How big a woman is she?
She's my size.
She's 53 years old?
Yes.
And she's about 5'3", 5'4"?
She's about identical build to me. Maybe a little bit heavier.
I'm asking you this so you can explain yourself. You've got a 53-year-old grandmother, 5'5", maybe weighs 130, 140 pounds, and you pull a gun and shoot her dead. Does that seem reasonable? Did you try to run away?
I was, no.
The Dr. Phil show actually helped our case because it really showed what type of a person Hector is and how cold and unremorseful he is, and that he intended to do it.
What would you do differently?
I don't know if I'd do anything different.
Soon, Hector's appearance on the popular show has financial repercussions.
Going on a national program to discuss why he gunned down his neighbor may have been that was a civil jury's wrongful death verdict for shooting his neighbor, Anna Weed.
Despite the Weeds winning their civil suit against Hector, his murder trial takes 5.5 years to reach the courtroom.
There was a few resets, and I was like, you know what? This is crazy. She was unarmed. There's a witness. He killed her in cold blood. Why is it taking a year, 2 years? It just breaks your heart, you know, because you're like, we need to have closure. She deserves it. Our family deserves it, but she deserves it. This is for Anna, you know?
Finally, after 4 drama-filled days in court, Hector Campos is found guilty of murder. He's sentenced to 45 years in prison.
Just like, I'm just being flirty. Look, he's kicking his kid in lunch.
I'm a believer, you know. I'm a Christian, and I know I'm gonna have to forgive this man for what he did to my daughter. Sooner or later.
Letty wins custody of her daughter, and they relocate within the United States. For all that they did to help her.
Anna should be a hero to Letty and her daughter because she gave her life for another family so that they could live their life. I really want people to know what a good person Anna was. She truly was.
She did what she wanted to do. And I'm proud of her. She is my hero.
I miss my angel. I miss my daughter a lot. But someday I will see her.
Sometimes, even the friendliest streets have animosity buried deep.
Turn it down a notch. We can play it as loud as you want.
They were completely opposite of what the neighborhood was.
Hi. You're parked in our spot.
They were a little obnoxious.
Move your car to your side.
I tried to avoid those conversations.
And sometimes it takes a newcomer.
He was very quiet and kept to himself.
To dig it all up.
Hey, friggin' what?
They just had conflicting personalities.
Hey, get back here, I'm talking to you!
Like, why would you have that reaction?
Shut the hell up while you're at it!
They were looking for revenge.
What the hell do you think you are?
I wasn't expecting it to escalate into what it did.
Get out!
The terror in their eyes was something I'll never forget.
I know what you did. Get out of my neighborhood! Stay away from my wife! On the ground now!
Wilkes-Barre is a small city nestled in Pennsylvania, just 20 miles from Scranton. Knows everyone else.
West Berg Street is a very quiet part of the suburbs of Wilkes-Barre. It's just kids playing in the street.
It's just a small little town within a big city.
Hey, Buster, let's get your jacket on.
This street is the perfect place for Shannon Lai to raise her 2 kids.
I had twins at the time, and I was just a single mom raising my children in a quiet, polite, clean neighborhood.
There we go.
Hey, guys.
Oh. Hi. Hi. How you doing?
It was kind of, we all looked out for one another.
Hey. Hey, how are ya?
The neighbors are great. It's somewhere you could just sit outside and relax. It's a very nice street to live on.
Betty Mitchell and her 2 children, 19-year-old Rowan and 18-year-old Gary, have called this neighborhood home for years.
Everyone's either friendly with each other or always gives a friendly, hi, how you doing when they're outside.
All of our neighbors are very close-knit, like we all talk to each other and just like really tight-knit time together.
So naturally, whenever someone new moves in, everyone is very curious. Jeffrey Spade is a retired veteran who is now an engineer.
Jeffrey proudly served the United States Navy as a shipboard engineering technician before going into the United States Army National Guard and eventually the United States Navy Reserve.
He was very reserved. He kept to himself.
He was friendly, but he was a quiet guy.
And Jeffrey seems to have found the quiet neighborhood he was looking for.
He was always doing something around his house.
He worked on his house a lot. He was very particular about the care of his home. Everything was always perfect to a T. He was always doing work on it.
Ripping off the old siding, huh?
Part of the welcoming committee includes his neighbor who lived directly across from him.
What's the point of stacking it up so nice?
Just gonna end up in the dump. Well, doesn't hurt.
Lisa and James Goy have resided on this street for nearly 15 years.
They were nice people. The house was well maintained.
They had each other's back. I never heard them fight, honestly. I never heard them argue or with each other or anything.
They were good for each other.
Things are okay now, but they won't be for long. It takes all types to make a neighborhood and get a celebration started.
Hi! We're having a party.
What's this?
Friday night, the block. You should come.
Someone would just come up with an idea to say, like, hey, you know, let's have a party. And then we would just meet and then have a good time.
You'll get to meet everybody.
Jeffrey wasn't the type to come to a barbecue.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll try.
I always was under the impression that he just wanted to keep to himself, just one of those people that didn't like to socialize.
Party!
The Goys, on the other hand,
Hell yeah!
are always up for a good time.
We're in!
Amazing. I'm going to tell everybody. Have a good day, guys. Hey! You're going to this, right?
What to do? Oh, man, come on! Listen up!
That was rude.
The Goys were more outspoken, out in the neighborhood more, you know, where Jeffrey stayed at home.
Jeffrey was pretty quiet, doing a 9-to-5 job. I think a lot of veterans keep quiet to themselves and only express themselves when other people open up.
I mean, everybody enjoys peace and quiet.
Jeffrey doesn't know it yet, but he's not going to get that here.
Five times, and he said, "Are you sure?" I'll never forget it.
I don't know. I was a little bit flattered. You know, like, who wouldn't want to, like, you know, hang out with us? You know what I mean?
They were always loud, laughing at the parties and things that they would have.
I mean, seriously, like, what's wrong with people, huh?
They'd get a little loud, you know, just being themselves and having a good time.
Hey! Can you turn it up a little? Will ya?
I'll take care of it.
Oh, that's more like it. Hey! Can you turn it down a notch? Come on! It's a free country! You can play it as loud as you want. What's it like in China?
They're not very respectable when it comes to being around people and knowing how to use, like, polite language.
It was a little obnoxious.
Hey, man, you coming out? Come on!
Maybe he's not out yet. He's not out yet.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. All right. Woo-hoo!
A big party leads to a big mess. And soon, it snowballs into a bigger problem. The Goys are very particular about the driveway they share with Shannon.
They were very territorial, should you say.
Hey! Do you mind keeping your garbage on your side of the driveway?
They overreacted quite a bit when it came to some things.
I'm sorry, I'm coming.
It was intimidating. Like, why would you have that reaction?
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to tidy up.
Whatever day you catch Lisa on is what kind of mood you catch her in.
And so far, Jeff has only caught Lisa in a bad mood.
Is there a problem? Kind of a creep, isn't he?
Precious little creep.
Even though Jeffrey is the new neighbor on the street, he feels it's the Goys that don't quite fit in. Not only do they have issues with the property line they share with Shannon, they also have issues with the Mitchells on the other side.
I was just cleaning the rocks, like just cleaning all the vines and everything out of it and just kind of restacking it. Well, the one fell over and hit the Goy's fence.
And like just knocked into their fence. It didn't knock it down or anything like that.
She had wire tied a note to the back on cardboard.
In case you forget.
I was like, okay. Like, it was just odd. Like, I don't know why she couldn't have just come to me and been like, instead of leaving a childish, you know, kindergarten project stuck to the back of my fence.
You have to be pretty petty to leave a note on a fence over a few rocks. That kind of changed my views.
And from Jeffrey's point of view, the Goys have serious issues when it comes to protecting their turf.
They weren't as meticulous as Jeffrey was, but I feel that they were more territorial than he was.
They would get mad about the small things, like if grass was growing up to their side of the fence.
But their biggest trigger seems to be parking.
Hey! Watch it! You came up way too fast. Don't you know how to drive? Be careful, man.
If they were angry, they were angry. It excelled quickly.
And anyway, you can't park there. Back off!
Jeffrey may be quiet, but he...
Get a grip! Shut the hell up while you're at it!
I've never witnessed anybody saying anything to them before this.
Hey! Who the hell you think you're talking to, huh?
It just snowballed from there.
Get back here!
Things are getting awkward, but soon they'll get deadly.
Move your car to your side. What's your problem, man?
In small neighborhoods with shared driveways, street parking can be tight. But the Goys don't have one vehicle. They have three.
Jim Goy would park his everyday use of a car in the driveway or on the street, but he would bring home like his work van and park that in the driveway or on the street. More days than not, parking was a problem.
And the driveway they share with Shannon Lai is a constant battleground.
Hey! Move your car to your side.
Okay, I'm sorry.
He's like, you parked too close, I'm gonna have it towed, or I'm just gonna hit your car. Not a problem, I'll move it.
If your bumper is like an inch towards their driveway, they'll tell you, you're too close.
There. Was that so hard? Stupid.
Excuse me?
They did not care who they offended with what they were saying, and they made a lot of remarks that were very inappropriate and offensive.
Let's go inside.
When he would have his reactions, and if my children were out front, I would just take them inside or go in the backyard to, you know, remove myself from that situation.
James Goy goes out of his way to mark his territory.
And then Jim Goy spray painted a line to say, this is where your parking starts.
Is it clear? Is it clear?
I thought it was an asshole. I'm like, that was kind of an asshole move.
And it's not just the neighbors that think the Goys have an attitude problem. Anyone who happens to visit the street is subject to their anger.
If anybody ever parked in their parking spot, they would be knocking on your door. And a lot of the times it was people who were visiting and didn't know.
I'm not parking, I'm just waiting for my girlfriend.
For your what?
Hey. Hey. Sorry I'm late. It's okay.
Really? You're one of those?
They knew at the time that I had a girlfriend, and they had made a couple jokes about it.
One of what?
But I knew that I was not going to change their mind, and I am not the type to engage in an argument, even if they were.
They were completely opposite of what the neighborhood was. Like, we were very, friendly. We were very open-minded. Not them.
I figured that little display doesn't bother somebody like you.
What's that supposed to mean? Hey, sorry. Didn't mean to hurt your delicate little feelings. Go back to your precious little garden.
Seriously, what kind of man is he?
Jim and Lisa were very homophobic people. And I don't necessarily know if Jeffrey was gay or bi.
They would almost be looking for things to find wrong in order to get revenge for whatever disagreement there was.
Could you move so I can turn around?
You got plenty of room.
Basically, she used that area to back up out of her driveway. I guess she needed that extra room.
Hey! I told you already you can't park there. Move your car. Put it in your driveway instead of your crap.
And Jeffrey Spade has no time to put up with James's attitude.
Hey, get back here. I'm talking to you. What's your problem, man?
What am I supposed to do? Just sit here? Jesus. Friggin' nerve.
The way they would handle situations definitely wasn't the best.
Say it was somebody they didn't like, they could be vindictive.
James Goy finds a new way to antagonize his neighbor.
He would just throw firecrackers. It almost sounded like a .22, like a rifle kind of going off, almost like...
Who the hell do you think you are? Oh, shut up. I'm just having a little fun. Relax. Are you insane? Why don't you go back inside and put a little skirt on?
There was a lot of yelling, and it was very loud.
What? You think you got what it takes? You'll see exactly what I got, buddy. Where do you think you are right now, huh? Where?
You're standing on our property, little man.
You know what I can do on my property, huh? I can beat your sorry ass to a little pulp. And the police would come by, and they would say I had every right to do it. The law's on my side here, not yours. Go ahead. Dare ya. I know people.
It was just, go ahead and call the police, and nothing's gonna be done.
Yeah. Walk away, little man.
He would just mumble under his breath and walk away.
Don't call him a man. He's a wuss.
That coming.
Don't park here. This is our spot.
They're planning something. You do this?
It was nerve-wracking just because I don't like confrontation to begin with, so just listening to it was kind of crazy that it was that big of a deal.
The tension on West Burke Street is about to get a whole lot worse. If Jeffrey parking in front of his house was an issue before, it's now a bylaw infraction.
It's now officially illegal for you to park there.
What are you talking about?
Looky, looky.
They're like, how'd that no parking sign get there?
It looks like it's supposed to be a parking spot but I know that the no parking sign was actually put up by the township.
Which didn't make sense to me.
It may have been put up by the authorities, but Jeffrey assumes he knows who's to blame.
You do this?
A vindictive move by the Goys.
But why? Why put a sign out in front of my house? It doesn't make any sense. There's no reason.
Jeffrey calls the township and demands an explanation, but he doesn't get one.
Everyone else on the street gets to park in front of their house.
From what I understand, he did try to fight it.
Are you kidding?
Jeffrey and many other neighbors believe the Goys pulled some strings to put the signs up.
Yeah. Oh, that makes great. Yeah, that's perfect sense. Okay, yeah.
Did the Goys have connections? This is a small town in northeastern Pennsylvania. Does somebody know somebody in the police department or the clerk down at the county courthouse? Chances are we'll never know.
Jeffrey loses the right to park in front of his own home. Although he still has a driveway, he remains angry. Nevertheless, the veteran is determined to stand his ground.
I feel like he didn't move away because he liked this house, and he took a lot of pride, and it was a nice neighborhood. It was a nice place to live, so I feel like that's why he never wanted to move.
The Goys aren't going anywhere either.
I think they act like the neighborhood's theirs. If you were to point out a neighborhood bully, it would be them.
Like it was their way or the highway.
Hey! Slow down! What the hell do you think this is, a drag race?
If he felt like the car was going too fast, he would come out and yell at the moving car.
Do you see that idiot?
And some, derogatory remarks as well.
It was uncalled for. That definitely was uncalled for.
What the hell's wrong with people?
I tried to avoid those conversations.
What the hell's wrong with everyone?
But the main thorn in the Goys' side is people parking in front of their house.
I told you, don't park here. This is our spot. Move your car.
They would just come out yelling, get the F out of here. It wasn't like they would come out of their house and, oh, can you please move your car? Like, you're parking in my spot. Don't you have anything better to do than yell at people for parking in the wrong spot? I think they had anger issues.
The mandate doesn't go both ways. The Goys park my spot.
The Goys definitely didn't always seem like they felt the rules applied to them.
No one in the neighborhood wants to risk the Goys' wrath.
It just became an irate situation. I kept my encounters with the Goys very minimal. Pretty much just let me know if my house is on fire, like that type of relationship, and I will return the favor.
I've personally never seen anyone confront them. I've never seen any neighbor retaliate back.
Jeffrey is the first to fight back against his bully neighbors. It's why he's the main focus of their ire.
It just didn't get better. They seem to like to hold grudges.
Hey, you friggin' wuss!
I know they targeted him a lot.
Need to be a man to do that kind of work.
I don't see why they would want to fight with Jeffrey, considering he was such a quiet guy and he kept to himself so much.
You're not a man, are ya? You're a loser. A little pansy.
They would just yell at him over everything. They would call him a pussy, just vulgar names.
If you're a pansy and you know it, dig a rock.
It was always Jim.
Like a tutti frutti. If you're a pansy and you know it, dig a rock.
Stuff along the lines of sexuality kind of slurs.
If you're pansy and you know it and you really want it. Whoa, Mr. Guy. Come on, let's see what you got. Oh, poor baby.
Why don't you go inside and call the police?
Jim would say, I know the Plains Township Police. I have family in the Plains Township Police.
We'll see how good that'll do ya.
That's right.
But there is no proof of the local police department even knowing the Goys.
Whether or not the Goys have friends in high places, the rest of the neighbors are getting fed up with them.
Can you believe what they did at the party the other day? I don't understand. We can't put up with this much longer.
We've had conversations that they were a problematic neighbor.
What do we do?
I think a lot of people were kind of fed up with the Goys, their whole persona, the bullying.
They're planning something. I know it.
You're so strange.
The Goys are ready to protect themselves and their property.
They had all kinds of firearms, and they were vocal about having them as well.
In addition to being well armed, the Goys are determined to know what's going on in the neighborhood at all times. Their watchful eyes patrol the street.
They put up surveillance camera. We never really had crime in the area, so I'm like, I didn't know what they were gonna catch with it.
There were two pointing right across the street at Jeffrey's house. Now, were they put up because of a feud, or did they put them up for security reasons?
Jeffrey doesn't like the fact that the Goys are monitoring him.
Hey, what are you doing? Hey, point those things away from my house.
Yeah? What are you gonna do about it, huh? Are you man enough to do anything? Huh? Come on, let's go. Man up, if you can. That's right. That's right. Walk away, little chickie. Yeah.
Armed.
Jeffrey had many guns in his house. He had weapons in the garage. He had weapons pretty much every corner of the house. He was ready to act at any moment.
All the once chummy neighbors on West Berg Street are keeping their distance these days.
You know, it was just like, oh, you know, if we have like a get-together, is it gonna be an issue for the Goys?
I dare ya.
But the main tension is between the Goys and Jeffrey Spade.
The neighbors hoped that the two neighbors would settle it themselves. So do I think that neighbors knew something between the two parties and the tension? Yes. Do the neighbors think that it would have ever gotten to the point of what happened? No, until it did.
When Shannon finds a larger house, she's happy to move away from the simmering tension next door.
Are we ready to go, boys? Yeah, let's go.
When I moved, there was a lot of, you know, I was fed up with the Goys, their whole persona. So I was lucky to move.
She will later learn she left just in time. As the animosity between the neighbors reaches a boiling point, a blizzard ravages Wilkes-Barre.
Northeastern Pennsylvania was gearing up for a major snowstorm. About 2 feet of snow was expected to fall.
There was a heavy storm overnight that continued throughout the day. We got more snow than we had in years.
But there's an even bigger storm coming. The next morning, the neighborhood wakes up to a winter wonderland.
There was already like a blanket of snow down, so it was one of those quiet days when the snow is on the ground and it's kind of insulated.
While Betty Mitchell makes her way through the snow to get to work, her kids Rowan and Gary stay home.
On that morning, I was in my bedroom. I was actually sleeping at first. They had closed my work for that day, so I took the opportunity to...
I met up with my friend, and we were sitting down there playing games and just talking. It was obviously cold, but it just felt like a normal, peaceful winter morning. I wasn't expecting it to escalate into what it did.
Jeffrey Spade is the first one to head outside to shovel his property.
Jeffrey had his driveway, one of the largest driveways on West Berg Street, already cleared. The Goys had started to clear their side of the road and push the snow across the road and onto Jeffrey's property. Jeffrey was not too thrilled about this.
What the hell do you think you're doing? Hey!
And the Goys did not think it was a big deal of pushing the snow across the road.
Hey, back off, you jerk! I just cleared this! Keep it on your side of the street, you stupid moron.
Jeffrey reacted and made the Goys mad.
Hey, who the hell you think you are? Huh? You sissy? You coward? You're not a real man. Scumbag. Jesus Christ. Who? Me?
Started happening. Swear words.
You're the scumbag!
Who the hell do you think you are, mother...
And anything that you can imagine. And that's when Jeffrey had enough.
What happens next is captured on the Goys' security camera.
What? You heard me. You would probably...
You're the scumbag! You don't bother with nobody!
He's got a country on his dog! You're a no! See?
Go ahead! Go ahead! Go ahead! Go ahead!
Call the cops!
At that point, I looked back out my window, and I was just kind of looking to see what was going on.
Wait, pause again. What was that sound?
It did not sound like a gun. It kind of sounded like someone was taking a hammer and like hitting the metal on the side of a car really hard or something like that. Me and my friend throw on shoes real quick, and we go outside. First thing I heard when I walked outside was Lisa crying her husband's name, and I was like, oh, okay, what's going on? I saw Lisa laying on the ground, and she had a whole like puddle of blood around her and everything. Jim was laying right in between the two cars, and he got shot in the lungs, and all we heard was deep gasping.
Are you okay?
As we're turning around, that's when we saw Jeffrey coming out the second time with the AR-15. And he kind of pointed it at us, and we turned around and we went back. I was kind of like, hope this man doesn't shoot me. I was like, I don't really want to die today.
You should have kept your all the way of your life you live in hell living here, what? You heard me.
You could hear the husband and wife egging Jeffrey on to shoot him. If you know you're in a high escalating situation and someone specifically goes back to their house and comes back with a gun, points it at you, and you egg them on,
we got video!
Call the cops!
So me and my friend Dylan were like, oh, what is that? When I saw Lisa laying on the ground, I saw she had some blood on her face and on her shirt. I was like, this isn't no snowblower accident.
What happened?
What happened?
We kind of like walked forward more and looked to the left, and Jim was like,
all in one!
We start turning around. That's when we saw Jeffrey coming out.
I saw him walk back out with a rifle.
Get in the house!
Seeing the terror in their eyes was something I'll never forget.
We turned around and we brought back in my house.
I saw him walk up to her.
You should have kept your mouth shut.
And I remember thinking, what do I do in this situation?
Huh?
As dead silence settles on the street outside, panic breaks out in the Mitchell house.
After that, I quickly ran to get my brothers to go into the basement.
We have firearms in my house, so we armed ourselves.
Take this.
What are these?
Just in case.
Everything was loaded. We had all the guns out. Like, we were ready to go. Because we didn't know what he was going to do next. I never thought I would have to
Get behind this.
prepare myself to get ready to possibly shoot at, like, another human being and, like, shoot at my neighbor because he's out there going crazy with an AR-15.
While her brother Gary and his friend prepare for the worst, Rowan calls for help.
How can 911 be busy? Dude!
Sorry. Take cover.
Seriously?
I remember calling the police as soon as I realized what was happening. I remember just thinking, I can't be on hold. There's people dying.
The Mitchells are not the only ones who dial 911. The switchboard is flooded with calls, but the snow slows the response time.
It was just like this moment that seemed to last so long, waiting for help to come. It was dead quiet on the street. There was no noise at all. It was so quiet from the snow as well. It was just like everything stopped.
After what feels like an eternity, the police finally show up on West Burke Street.
The state troopers were the first people to respond to the scene.
As soon as the police arrived, they went right to his house.
They were getting ready to go into his house.
And that was him taking his own life.
After the shock wears off, the horrifying reality of the event sinks in.
It's gruesome, it's shocking, it's horrific that it could have even gotten to this point.
I remember calling my mom. She was at work, and all I could say was that the neighbors are dead.
It took me a minute to even wrap my head around it. And then I asked her who, and she said all three of them. I immediately came home.
The heavy snow makes it difficult for the bodies to be removed.
The coroner took a long time to get there. It was the most snow we have seen in years. And while they were waiting for the coroner to arrive, their bodies were just in the streets for hours.
It was weird. It was almost like the silence that echoes in your head, like the ringing kind of silence. And it was kind of weird that the bodies, it got very eerie.
After everything was over, it affected a lot of people.
It's not just the neighborhood that witnesses the horror. The shocking surveillance footage is leaked for the world to see.
And within hours of the incident happening, there's video circulating around the internet. We're talking YouTube, Facebook, Reddit, Twitter.
Shannon may have escaped the neighborhood, but she can't escape the trauma.
I saw the video on social media. I immediately reached out to my neighbors and I just simply asked, is this true? Is this Jim and Lisa Goy? It was twisted. It's sick and twisted.
Oh my
I was pretty upset. I called the local news station. I called our local police department. I tried to get a hold of YouTube, and then at that point, it was everywhere, you know, and there was no stopping it.
If someone was pointing a gun at me, I wouldn't be encouraging them to shoot me. I'd be like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, it's a misunderstanding. It doesn't need to go this far.
Some believe Jeffrey suffered from PTSD from his time in the military.
Mental health care as well, especially for veterans. There is a chance that he could have seen or gone through a lot.
West Berg Street is left shattered.
It's just shocking that it boils down to two parties disagreeing and arguing, and it ends in violence.
Gary Mitchell doesn't need to see the video to relive the terror. Every winter is a reminder of the carnage that unfolded that day.
Like, every time it snows, I'm just like, oh, this is weird. Like, not even just anywhere, but specifically on my street. It's just when it snows, it's just kind of brings you back to it almost. It's weird.
February 1st of 2021 was definitely a tragedy. Treat people with kindness. Even if you can't really tolerate them or deal with them, like, you know, treat people the way that you want to be treated and just be kind to your neighbors, at the very least.
This season on Fear Thy Neighbor.
They were lovely. It was very cordial. Welcome to the neighborhood.
You should meet the rest of the family.
They're very friendly people.
Donna! Man!
That's just how it was.
Those years were very happy years.
That's where it kind of turned for the worse.
What is all this noise?
Very creepy, very weird, very odd.
He kept to himself.
I didn't know you got married.
He would deckle her in.
I believe the devil took over. What does she have to do? Kill somebody?
I wasn't expecting it to escalate into what it did.
You're on my land!
Face me like a man!
Sheer terror.
I want my freaking money!
It was like gasoline and fire.
Get the hell up while you're at it!
Control, I got 2 down,